Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Simple Fund 360 and Simple Invest 360 new features webinar for July 2022. My name is Jeevan Tokhi. So today's session will be recorded, so if you do need to view it at a later stage or share it with other team members, it will be available on our YouTube channel. And if you do have any questions, please enter them into the Q&A panel. We've got a few members of BGL who are currently logged in and awaiting any of your questions. So for the first feature that went out, first one I'll cover there is Please Sign. So Please Sign is an Australian digital signing provider whose envelope prices start at around $1 an envelope. So if you are in the hunt for a digital sign provider, this is obviously one to include there in the mix. So if you are using digital signing, and this is probably covering any provider, again, the integrations in order to enable that can be found there from the app switcher across onto the integrations menu. So, okay, across there to digital signing, and then there on the digital signing menu, you'll see Please Sign enabled there at the bottom. So just click on the settings toggle there to go through and obviously follow the process in terms of enabling the integration. You can have multiple providers set up for once if you are trialing a new provider or switching from one provider across to another. Going back there into Simple Fund 360, so cost obviously for both products, if you go across there to the report screen, okay, so any I guess reports, letters, minutes that require signing generated there at a Simple Fund can be actually digitally signed. So once you have the report pack that you'd like digitally signed selected, you then click on the digital signing button there, which opens up the digital signing interface. You can see here I've got there on the right-hand side 2 documents that require digital signing, and the rest obviously that don't have the digital signing icon there, so they can't be digitally signed. On the left-hand side, you'll see the ability there for any signatories that have been brought through. You'll see the details there, and if any don't have an email address, you'll be prompted to obviously enter that in before you continue there with the process. A couple of advanced options are available. First one there is SMS authentication, so you can select that, and that option will enable 2-factor authentication for anyone who's looking to digitally sign. So it's an added security measure that can be enabled. You do have the ability to upload additional documents not prepared in Simple Fund into the report pack. And with that, with those documents at the moment, they cannot be digitally signed, so they just form part of the report pack. But what will occur in a later stage this year is you will have the ability to digitally sign non-Simple Fund produced documents, so stay tuned for that. Okay, I'll continue there to the option there, which is the email template. So obviously that can be customized to your liking. And you do have the ability where you have multiple parties signing the documents. An option might be, for example, a compilation report, where you do have that selected and you've got multiple parties, you can actually enable order of signing as well. So for example, you want the trustees of the fund to sign the documents prior to the accounting firm. So I'll go through there and send that one through. So what this will do, it'll send an email through to the recipients, which are, in this case, going to be the trustees. And obviously we'll enable that on that sort of group basis. So where, for example, you have the order of signing enabled, it'll go through an email just to those that are in the first group first. Once those signatories in the first group have signed the document, the signatories that are in the second group and third group and so on will then be enabled. So as order of signing suggests, it will go through and bring that through accordingly. Okay, so I've got one here that I'm just going to use for example. So the signatories will receive a email address like that, which contains a link. So if you have enabled SMS authentication, you will be prompted at this stage to enter in the 2-factor code that will be sent to the mobile phone. Okay, so once I go through and sign those particular documents, obviously in this case, it's going to be please sign. So each provider has a slightly different workflow at this stage that you will need to go through, sign the particular documents. In this case, I'm just going to signature. Okay, and finish and go through. So it might take a number of seconds, but this will go through once it's actually completed there by the provider. All parties again will be emailed the completed documents, and that document and the status will be brought straight into Simple Fund 360. So you have that sort of complete end-to-end solution there. Next one here, which I'm not going to demonstrate, is a data feed. So we do have a data feed now with Rush Gold. So Rush Gold is a new provider there that's been around since I believe 2016, and they allow, I suppose, the digital purchases of gold, and then they do specialize in self-managed super funds as well. So if any and that's obviously a direct data feed that comes in and brings all the transactions in terms of buy, sells, or transfers. So if you do have any clients, looking to purchase gold in the current environments, and you want that to be data fed into Simple Fund 360, this is a potential provider to have a look at. Okay, so a couple of new reports there. They've been added through. So we've added the 2022 audit work papers. So those templates that are available in the report screen are available, are provided by TAG Financial Services through to BGL. I've got a new report there, which is the strategic asset allocation. And we have the activity statement report detailed, has been updated to include transaction narrations. So I'll show just the strategic one as we go through. So if I clear those out, so if you search for, I'm going to actually show maybe so I've got the new one there, and we'll show potentially, say, the previous comparison one there. So in terms of obviously reviewing the investment strategy of either the SMSF or portfolio, this new report obviously brings through a nice table there that shows all the different ones. This fund's obviously doesn't have a lot of diversification, so it's just a lot of their Australian shares. And obviously we've got the other reports, which is available, which shows that they're in a bar graph type format, and obviously showing compared against the existing strategy. So a couple of options there that are available, and obviously depending on the strategy of the fund, there's a nice report that can be added there into the packs. Okay, so common corporate action that has been requested over the last 2 months is the BHP in-specie dividend. So the ATO has released a class ruling on this. So if I jump back into Simple Fund 360, so at the moment the corporate action screen cannot be used to process this because it does involve a special dividend going to the BHP account and the purchase going to the Woodside Petroleum. So our team's currently working on this to add it to the corporate action screen. So it will be available in a update reasonably soon. But if you need to review the help article on this, just go up top there to top of Simple Fund 360 and click on the search icon. From there, just type in BHP, and you see the first option that's available there is how to process the in-specie dividend. So in there, that particular article, it'll give you references there to the ATO class ruling, the ASX notifications, BHP's guide, and gives a particular example there of how to process it as a journal within Simple Fund 360. So if I go back there into the application, so the way that that one is processed, as mentioned, there's a dividend that's specially processed, as you can see there. So that dividend goes to the BHP account. And then there's the new shares that have been received in Woodside Petroleum. So obviously if that security most likely won't exist in the SMSF, that will need to be added first. And obviously the units received entered in there. So if you do have any issues, questions whatsoever, please contact our support team, who will be more than happy to assist. Superstream. So pretty much every release we do now, we're constantly improving the Superstream process. So in this one, as you can see, we do have the ability to register new funds directly now from the Superstream dashboard. We've got the ability to add up to 5 additional email recipients and copy relationships and contacts across multiple funds. And the new Superstream registration now allows different types of registrations to be added in, and also the ability to split for if the, I suppose, the requirement has it, to split between notifications between contributions and rollovers. So we're providing a lot more flexibility there. So jumping there back into Simple Fund 360. So under the connect option, sorry, there, and then Superstream. Okay, so when you go to go across, and I'll just load this one up. I'm just going to pick the BDO Training Fund. As you click there onto register, so you'll see now there's additional options there in terms of notification. So you do have the ability, for example, to select the relationship, and you can actually select obviously up to 5, as mentioned before, and multiple. You do have things where for particular contacts, if you don't want them to receive a certain type of notification, you can disable those there as well. So you do have the ability, obviously, to a lot more flexibility. I just remove that out. You do have the ability to register new funds, as you just saw me cover that process. So that will go through. And what we're planning to do is remove the old Superstream registration screen and just have all the functions contained within the Superstream dashboard. So you don't have to obviously use 2 different screens for the same purpose. So look out for that later this year. Simple Invest 360. So with Simple Invest 360, we've added now a shareholders screen. So that shareholder screen allows you, obviously, as the name suggests, to enter in any shareholders for the particular company and any sort of transactions which have taken place. Again, if I jump back across, I'll just change portfolios. So you'll see a new shareholder screen that's been added in. So you do have the ability there to enter in any shareholders that have been, I suppose, added in. So I'll go through and select a new one there. Details that have taken place, their actual shareholdings that do go through. Just back out to them. So that's obviously just the first step of the process. The second step, which I'll just cover in a second, will be the ability to have dividends calculated, obviously, based on their shareholders there at year end. So look out for that. In terms of our July update, that's all the features there that have been covered. So jump back, sorry, into PowerPoint. So coming soon. So currently this is in a beta program. So it's been we've got around, I think, 20 to 30 firms piloting this for us, and will be released soon. So we do have the ability then to sync all clients and contacts from Simple Fund 360, Simple Invest 360. And if you do have CAS 360, you can obviously sync those automatically with those clients and contacts. And then what we're looking to do is include then practice management systems. So the first one off the rank there will be XPM, and then obviously followed by APS, Carbon, Access, and MYB. So we'll have obviously the ability there to sync details. So that's, obviously the main feature of that would be you go into your practice management system, update an address for a client, and that automatically flows through into the BGL products. It allows you to, let's say, for example, if you updated the address in XPM, automatically trigger a change of address details in CAS 360 for the particular company. Or if you insert, let's say, a new SMSF into any product, you do then again have the ability to add that to the other products. So this includes a whole new interface, whole new way of actually syncing the clients and contacts. So we will be running some personal webinars on those probably later in, I dare say, August at this stage. So next, in terms of coming soon, is Simple Fund 360 will have a pay-as-you-go payment summary lodgement. So again, at the moment, this is currently in a beta phase and being tested by firms alongside with us. So once we're happy with it, we'll allow this access to all firms to this. So again, that'll be available quite soon. Similar Invest 360. So as I mentioned, the dividends paid screen will be available hopefully in our next update, which will be later this month. And that'll allow, obviously, as part of the year-end process, for the company profits there to be distributed based on the units held by each shareholder. Our Simple Fund Education Week. So next week, we're running a whole series of 30-minute webinars that cover various topics or features within Simple Fund 360. So these webinars are free to attend. You can either watch them live or watch the recording. And you do have the ability, obviously, to register for just the ones that you'd like to do. So that's obviously covered all of next week, and there's various different topics. So if you go to bglcorp.com/education week with a hyphen in between, you will be able to register for and view, I suppose, the course of contents of what we have now, and you will have obviously the ability to register for just the ones that you would like to attend. Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's webinar. So as I mentioned at the start, this was probably a shorter one than normal. So if you do have any questions, please enter them into the Q&A panel, and we'd be more than happy to answer them for you.